Kevin Feige. Today I'll be announcing the cast of the upcoming MCU Fantastic Four movie. First up is the character of Reed Richards, who will be played by Tom Holland. Next up is Susan Storm. This one was a very tough decision, but after careful consideration, we have decided that she should be played by Tom Holland. And for Johnny Storm, you guessed it, Tom Holland. And finally for the Thing, Ben Grimm will be played by Dean Norris. Just kidding, Tom Holland.
Many people would agree with the statement that the quality of the MCU has been declining in Phase 4. There is no doubt that there are a lot of good projects like Loki, WandaVision, Shang-Chi, No Way Home, Moon Knight, and most of the others depending on who you are and what kind of cinema you like. But I think the main reason people are beginning to give up on the MCU is that they're getting fatigued. We've been bombarded with MCU content the past 2 years, and fans have begun to notice the cracks that arrive due to this abundance of content. The movies and TV shows this year have been consistently dropping in ratings and general hype. Just this summer we got Ms. Marvel, which overall was quite fun and cute, but many people didn't really watch. There was also Thor Love and Thunder, which has almost been forgotten now already. And of course She-Hulk is coming out now, which is another show that many people are questioning. Some for valid reasons, such as the CGI looking abysmal in the trailers, and others who just don't like seeing women be good at stuff. But one thing is for sure, a lot of people are not very interested in the MCU these days, and I feel like more and more people are slowly getting burnt out, which is fair. We've had a lot of MCU content this past year. I mean, since 2021 started, Marvel has released WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Black Widow, Loki, The Eternals, What If, Shang-Chi, Hawkeye, No Way Home, Moon Knight, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Ms. Marvel, Thor Love and Thunder, and now soon to be She-Hulk. All of those properties have come out within 1.5 years, and while I think a lot of those were excellent and others not so much, it's no wonder that people are beginning to feel burned out. I mean, it has only been over half a year since No Way Home came out, but it feels like so long ago that we were all itching to get back into the movie theaters and scream our lungs out to these 3 Spider-Men appearing together, and it feels like a lifetime ago that Phase 4 started, when in reality, it has only really been going on for 2 years. The MCU has just bombarded us with content, and it feels like the standards of the content has been steadily decreasing. The TV shows started out really interesting with engaging and creative plots, and it felt like time and effort had been put into them. But both the TV shows and the movies feel like they've been dropping in quality, and I think we can attribute a lot of that to time restraints. I mean, I loved shows like WandaVision and Loki, and movies like Shang-Chi, but Hawkeye felt very cheap during the last couple of episodes, and although I overall enjoyed Ms. Marvel a lot, the actual story and conflict of it felt a bit rushed. Thor Love and Thunder has also been receiving a lot of slack, and Multiverse of Madness had parts that really weren't that good. They dragged a lot. However, there are a lot of great properties that have come out in Phase 4, and although we're all feeling a bit of MCU fatigue, I personally think that the future of this franchise has the potential to be really fucking great if they do it right. Phase 4 has done a lot of setup without too much payoff. I mean, No Way Home was a big event, but it felt more like a culmination of all the previous Spider-Man franchises and the last embers of the Infinity Saga, and not really as part of Phase 4. So yeah, I really hope we soon get to see those big projects and team-ups that we've been waiting for. And based on their roadmap, I think this does seem to be the case. However, there are also a couple of head scratches in there. So that brings us to the point of this video. I'm going to take a look at all the announced projects coming out in Phase 5 and 6, and then we'll talk further in detail about the projects themselves and the MCU as a whole. But just real quick, if you want to support the channel further, then do check out my Patreon, which doesn't just support me, but also gives you some cool benefits. The link is in the description and in the comments, but enough rambling, let's just get back into it. Alright, so there'll be some shows or specials that I won't be talking about, like the I Am Groot miniseries or the supposed Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, because I don't really see those as serious entries in the MCU, and more like fun little tidbits for people to enjoy. Also, if I do miss something, then please do let me know down in the comments. There's a lot to keep track of, and these plans change a lot, so naturally, this video will end up having some holes. But yes, let's just talk about the future of the MCU. So after She-Hulk airs, I'm pretty sure the next big thing will be Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which I'm actually quite excited for. Black Panther isn't my favorite MCU movie, I think it has some flaws, but I remember really enjoying myself a lot when I first watched it. So yeah, I'm excited for a new story in Wakanda. Sadly, Chadwick Boseman isn't here anymore, and now there's a debate on how to handle this, whether to recast T'Challa or to leave him dead in this universe too. I don't have the answers, I guess we'll just have to wait and see before we make up our minds. But yes, I'm excited for Wakanda Forever, I think it'll be great. But then I think What If Season 2 might be coming out, and I don't really care. I mean, I like the concept and I love animation, but I just wasn't that interested in the first season. Hopefully it surprises me. But then Ant-Man 3 Quantumania is up next. And while I've never been very interested in the Ant-Man movies, I'll definitely be giving it a chance. Like the last one, I feel like this one could be quite important to the overall story, so while I'm not that hyped for this one, I'm sure there are a lot of people who are. Ant-Man 3 is slated for February of next year. Next up is Secret Invasion, a Disney Plus show about a Skrull invasion of Earth, and from what I've heard about it, I'm actually quite intrigued by it. I think it'll definitely either be great or very mediocre, but I'm hopeful. I mean, I like Captain Marvel, I like Ben Mendelsohn as Talos, and apparently they're going for a Captain America the Winter Soldier vibe, so yes, I am on board with that. But then next up is one of the big ones for me, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Now, not much needs to be said about Guardians 3. I think it'll be great. I don't have much doubt about that. My only concern is what it'll mean for the rest of the MCU. James Gunn talks about the movie like it's the finale of their story, and I don't know if that means the conclusion of the Guardians as a whole, or just their standalone movies. So I'm interested in finding out if they'll have a role afterwards in the upcoming Avengers movies. But either way, this movie will be fantastic, and we'll only have to wait until May next year if all goes well. Remember, all these projects can be delayed, we don't know yet. But next up we have one of the shows that I'm confused about. Echo. Now this is supposed to come out next summer, but I just don't have much excitement about this show. I don't know anything about it, and Echo personally didn't leave me interested enough in her character for me to be excited about this one. However, they could surprise me. It could end up being gritty and mature like Daredevil is. I mean, Matt Murdock is going to be in the series, so I hope that it'll be more like that, but it can also end up being more like Hawkeye. So yes, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I'll definitely watch it. And then we have Loki Season 2, which I'm very down for. Ever since Kang was introduced, I've been wanting to see more of him. Also, Loki was just a great show, so yes, I'm on board. The Marvels is probably a controversial one, but I'm really down for it. Like I've said before, I do like Captain Marvel, and I like Miss Marvel. I know not many people share my opinions here, but I think this movie could be a lot of fun. Captain Marvel has been showing up a lot in Phase 4, but hasn't had much to do other than cameos, so I'm excited to see her back. We can expect to see the Marvels and Loki Season 2 next summer. Jesus, next year already looks packed and it's giving me headaches. But then Ironheart is up next. And to be honest, I don't know much about this show at all. I think it's about Iron Man's legacy, and I'll have the character Riri Williams making her own suit of armor. Sounds cool. The thing is, a lot of these projects that are further away, we don't know much about. Especially if, like me, you don't know much about the comics. But yes, I'm just hoping the characters introduced here will be impactful to the greater narrative. And then 2023 will be ending off with Blade. And all I really know is that he's a vampire hunter and that he spoke to Kit Harington at the end of Eternals. But it sounds good and a lot of people are excited for it, so you know what? So am I. I'm a sheep, I follow the herd. Except for when it comes to Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, of course. Then I will defend her against hordes of fellow Earthlings who haven't achieved the level of enlightenment that I have. And then we have Agatha Coven of Chaos. And this is one that just has me scratching my head. I don't get it. It doesn't make much sense to me. Don't get me wrong, I liked Agatha a lot in WandaVision, but I don't really need a separate TV show for her, especially since her demise was so cool in WandaVision. But yes, technically she's not dead, so they could do something cool with her. I just don't really see the point. But hey, I have no expectations, so I guess they can only surprise me. But yes, this one isn't very exciting. But then we have Daredevil Born Again. Now this one will absolutely be hit or miss. I'm currently watching Daredevil and it's incredible. The grit, the maturity, the complexity of the story, the themes and the characters, it's all something that this show needs to have. I hope they bring back the original creators and writers, because if they MCUify this show, then it'll seriously piss off a lot of people. I think Disney Plus can handle a mature show. Just this once. Have Daredevil be more PG when appearing in She-Hulk or Echo. Just please do this show justice, because otherwise there'll be no point in bringing him back. So yes, there's a lot riding on Daredevil Born Again. And then after that comes Captain America New World Order, May 2024. That's it. That's all I really know about this movie. I mean, I like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I like Sam Wilson as Captain America, so yes, I think I can do with a 4th installment. Then after that we have Thunderbolts, which from what I can understand is a group of villains or troublemakers who team up and pretend to be heroes, to then gain the trust of the world and gain influence so that they can orchestrate world events in their favor. If I'm wrong with that, then please someone tell me down below. But we're likely to see characters such as Yelena, US Agent, and possibly Simo. So all I can say is that I'm very intrigued, and I hope the scale of this story is significant. And then after that, we finally see the Fantastic Four in the MCU properly. Now we still know very little about this, and we don't even know if John Krasinski will actually play Reed Richards or not. But yes, I think this movie will be very important for the upcoming Avengers movies, at least from what I've heard. So yeah, I'm excited for that. But that leads us into a massive 2025 with 2 Avengers movies. And I'm sure that there are still unannounced projects for 2024 and 2025 that we just don't know about. But these 2 movies, Avengers the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, are about to be epic, if the build-up has been good. Hope they build up Kang properly throughout these next phases so that the Kang Dynasty feels like the perfect payoff. And I think Secret Wars is a Fantastic Four story at heart, but will of course have all the Avengers team up to fight I'm not really sure, maybe Doctor Doom, or it's still Kang, or each other. I don't know much about the story and I don't want to spoil myself too much. But yes, if these 2 movies are done right, then there'll be a perfect ending to Phase 5 and 6. So yes, that's the lineup so far. Like I said before, I'm sure more projects will be announced along the way, but for now we already have an insane roster. Perhaps too much in a very short amount of time. I mean, we have begun seeing how time restraints are beginning to affect the CGI and the plots. It sometimes feels rushed or that the writers didn't have enough time to flesh out everything. But if they can get back on track with these upcoming projects and give them the time and effort they deserve, then I'm excited for most of them. There are a few that I don't really see the point of, but oh well, I'm sure some people are excited for those too. However, even if these next phases are good, I still think the sheer quantity of MCU content will throw off a lot of people, which is understandable. I think most people are down for the movies, but the number of TV shows is where people are starting to get fatigued. Now I liked shows such as Ms. Marvel, Hawkeye, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where the stories are important, but they're just not vital in order to understand the greater picture. I mean, you don't really need to watch Ms. Marvel to understand what's going on in the Marvels, and you don't need to watch Captain America and the Winter Soldier to watch another Captain America movie. But if you don't watch Loki, then you have no clue who Kang is, and why everything is going to shit. And if you don't watch WandaVision, then Wanda being evil in Multiverse of Madness doesn't make much sense either. I think the shows work best to further characters and their arcs, but it can get quite exhausting knowing that you have to watch all of the shows to know what's going on. I mean, people have busy lives. But yes, overall, I'm still optimistic about the MCU, and I'm interested in some of the future projects. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to my patrons, including our turf captain, Ben Joseph. But other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe and peace out.